So we have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So we are naming these elements as carbon as third element. The first two elements you can name this as A, this as B and this as C. Okay. So here if you take the first, carbon is a fixed element. Two elements, they combine separately with the fixed third element. The fixed third element is carbon here. What is the law saying? If two different elements combine separately with the same weight of third element, which is carbon. Okay, two different elements are hydrogen and oxygen. The ratios of the masses in which they do so are either or in a simple multiple of the mass ratio in which they combine. How to identify that they are in a simple ratio? So you have to take this part first, that is carbon and hydrogen, they form methane. Carbon and hydrogen, they together they form methane. Carbon and oxygen together they form carbon dioxide. So in here, carbon and carbon are common in both, so leave that. The next, what is different in both methane and carbon dioxide? CH4 is methane, CO2 is carbon dioxide. So carbon is same there. The different part is hydrogen and oxygen. Let us write the ratio for that. The ratio is 4, that is 4 times of oxygen, 4 times of hydrogen. 1 hydrogen is 1 time, 4 into 1 is 4. 2 times of oxygen is 32 because 1 oxygen is 16. 2 times of oxygen is 32. So when you simplify this, you will get as 1:8. Yes or no? 1:8. How will you get this 1:8? 4 1 times 4. 4 8 times 32. So that is the ratio here we are getting is 1:8. Now let us take this another combination. This if you take this H2O, let us write the ratio for that. 2 times of hydrogen, 2 into 1 will be 2, followed by 1 oxygen, it is 16. So if you simplify this, you will get here also 1:8. Sorry, I cannot write this. 1 second. Okay, 1:8. So in both the cases we are getting 1:8. So from 1 and 2 the ratio is same as that of the first to obtain. Therefore the law of reciprocal proportion is illustrated. So if you take the same element, the different element here is hydrogen and oxygen. If you find the ratio for that, it is 1:8. And if those two different elements combine also, they will give you the same ratio. The fixed element is carbon. So in the first case 1:8 we obtained from methane and carbon dioxide. Since carbon is same in both, we leave off that. When you write the ratio for hydrogen and oxygen, you will get 1:8. In the second case, if you write the ratio for the two different elements, if hydrogen and oxygen, if they combine, means what is the ratio? There also we are getting the same. Hence the law is proved here. Finally, we have Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. Here, according to Gay-Lussac's law, the person name itself was named after this law. The person is Gay-Lussac. He only found this law. According to Gay-Lussac's law, whenever gases react together, the volumes of reacting gases as well as the products bear a simple whole number ratio, provided all the volumes are measured under the similar conditions of temperature and pressure. So let us see an illustration. If you take here, it has been experimentally observed that 2 volumes of hydrogen, can you see here 1 volume of hydrogen plus 1 volume of hydrogen, it is 2 volume of hydrogen reacts with 1 volume of oxygen. Here 1 volume of oxygen is here to form 2 volumes of water. So how will you get this? So we have to find out by equation. So 2 volumes of hydrogen reacts with 1 volume of oxygen. Okay. So this is the simple equation. When you write like this, you will get H2O. So there is a concept behind this. This is the skeletal equation I am just writing. So 2 hydrogen plus 1 oxygen will give you 2 times of water. So when you balance this, you have to put 2 here because we are having 2 hydrogen. So balance the hydrogen, 2 into 2, 4 you will get here. To get 1 oxygen, you have to put, for 2 oxygen, you have to put 2 here. Is it clear, children? So when you write like this, you will get a balanced equation. This is how it happens. So when you find a simple ratio for this, when you find out the ratio, when you write the ratio for this, you have to take the coefficient. So it is 2:. Here when you don't have anything, you will put it as 1, and you have 2 here. What is the ratio we are getting? 2:1:2. Are you clear? 2 volumes of hydrogen, we are writing it as 2 hydrogen, plus 1 volume of oxygen, we write oxygen O, which gives 2 volumes of water vapor. We know water vapor formula is H2O. They are giving 2 volumes. When you balance the equation, you will get the ratio as 2:1:2. It is a simple whole number ratio. When you will say it is a simple whole number ratio, if there is no fractional or decimal point, then it is a simple whole number ratio. Is it clear, children? Next we have is quantum numbers. So why do we use this quantum number means? Like for example, when you specify a location of a building, what do you say? When you will, so for example, you are writing your address. Okay, so you will write down the street followed by the district, and more detailed address will have which state it is from and what city it is in that country also you will specify. So just like we have 4 ways in defining the location of our house, like country, state, city and street address, everything we have, we also have some properties to define an electron. So that number, so that property we call it as quantum numbers. So these quantum numbers, listen to the definition. The numbers which designate and distinguish various atomic orbitals and electrons present in an atom are called quantum numbers. So it will designate the atomic orbitals and electrons present in an atom. So it will describe an atom. So these 4 quantum numbers will describe an atom. So what are the 4 quantum numbers? See in the table. Principal quantum number. It is, the symbol is N. What do you get the information from this principal quantum number is which energy level it is. So the main energy level, all this energy level means what? Whether it is in K shell or L shell or M shell. So there itself we wrote 2n square, no? So that n also represents the principal quantum number there. So it will represent the main energy level. Second one is azimuthal quantum number. It is represented by L. So it will talk about the subshell or shape of an orbital. So all this you will study in your higher classes. Since this is a introduction to quantum numbers, let us just have an idea what idea it is, what information it is conveying alone. Let us see. So it will talk about the shape of an orbital. Third one is magnetic quantum number. That is, it is represented as M. So this will talk about the orientation of an orbital. So whether it is in an x-axis or y-axis or z-axis, it will talk about the orientation. Last one is spin quantum number, which is S. So this will talk about the spin of an electron. So spin of an electron, whether it is in the positive direction or in the negative direction. So that spin of an electron, this will give an idea about. Are you all clear with this quantum number, children? Okay, so we have completed this lesson. So in today's class, what all we have discussed, let us summarize quickly. So we saw what is meant by isotope. So iso means same. Here same atomic number but different mass number, same element. Isobars, different element, same mass number but different atomic number. Isotopes, everything is different but the number of neutrons are same. In laws of chemical combination, we discussed law of multiple proportion, law of reciprocal proportion, and Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes also we discussed, and finally quantum numbers. And also along with this lesson, we saw how to draw a geometric representation of an element, valence electron, valency, how to calculate the atomic number and mass number, an electronic configuration, discovery of neutrons, Bohr's model of an atom and its limitation, this Rutherford atomic model along with its limitation, and the discovery of nucleus. So this lesson is all about the atomic structure. So I hope you all remember this. So now when you go to 10th standard, let us discuss more detail about this lesson. Until then, Take care, children. In the next class, I'll meet you with another new lesson in biology. Thank you, children.